Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa, and today I'm going to be working on a project that I've been talking about doing, and it is going to be a journal where I put signatures in that I've created recently to kind of house as a temporary location to use in future journals. So it's kind of like a signature storage, kind of like how you get storage, you make storage for labels and stamps kind of deal. I'm going to make a storage that ends up holding signature pages. Now the way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to put eyelets in there to have a little bit stronger, not location, but yeah, stronger starting point. And then I'm going to use round elastic to put in so the signatures can slide in and out. So this one I made as a prototype to see how well I could use just regular scrapbook paper, and it turned out pretty good. I mean, it's not, a journal that's, award-winning, but it's still, I think it's going to be pretty good. I have not attached the eyelets to it yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this one for the signature book or what I'm going to actually use it for. So I'm going to create another one on camera to show you how I did this. So we are going to start out with this lovely cupcake box. The reason that I chose this and found this was because this right here is 6 inches, which I think is perfect, because when you fold signatures in half, at least most of that I do, from digitals or book pages, like 5.5 is a good size. So let me grab some of my recent ones that I did. Hopefully you saw the video that I did my 365 calendar pages. These will be the first ones that end up going in here. But this one is 5.5 going this way. The height on these is usually about 8.5, but they end up 8.5 if they're not cut down. But if they're cut down, because sometimes that white edge, they get a little smaller. So I was thinking about making this journal 9.5. I think I ended up making this. Let me double check. 10. I made it 10 inches high, and the reason that I'm doing that is because since I want to put the eyelets in here, I want to have room between the 2 rows of eyelets that will be enough so they're not, the top and the bottom of the signatures aren't getting stuck up into the eyelets. So I made this 10 tall, and then this is 6 wide, and the spine ended up being almost 2 inches. Again, it's just, it's a little shy of 2 inches. That was the size of the cupcake box. So it ended up being just a perfect size box to do this project with. So if you're looking to do a journal, a 6-inch front is a perfect size in my opinion. And then to cut the height, if I wanted a different size spine, I could have cut these apart so that they were a single sheet and then created a wider one or a smaller one and made its own. But I'm just going to live with that size for that. Okay, so we need to get it to 10 inches tall. I'm just going to chop her down and get a pen here. And because it's about 10.5. So I just really need to take about 1/2 inch off, which is going to be right there. Okay. All right, I'm going to use the folded part as the guide because that should be the straightest. And get it down. Lost my garbage can. There we go. To 10. Now this side is a little bit off because I cut it with my hand. I think I'm going to find my other trimmer and just cut that down a little bit, ever so slightly. So how was your day going? Hopefully well. We are on the verge of moving my son. It's quite exciting around here, that is for sure. Always a buzz when you're trying to move something, getting stuff packed up and everything. So I wanted to get this taken care of before we officially move him. And then when I get him out, I can start thinking about doing my craft room. Okay, all right, so there we go. Now, I am going to use my Fabri-Tac, put it on the side for now so it starts deciding to flow a little better. I should have left my cutter out. I am using just regular thin scrapbook paper. I found this one and this one. These were from a haul from Hobby Lobby that I am not sure if that video is going to be up before this or after this. So you might have seen this or you might not. But I'm going to use these. I'm going to use this one, this page for the front, and then this will be the back, and then these are going to be the inside. So what's also nice about doing 6-inch fronts is 12-inch paper, all you got to do is end up cutting it in half because it is 6 inches already. And then I'll just have to cut it down. Actually, I won't cut it down because I'm going to flap it over. But all I have to do is cut this down to make 6 inches. So I am just gonna, instead of opening it up, I am just gonna slice a little piece off, and voila, 6 inches. All right, so you said it doesn't really matter which side is the front or not, but I think I'll do that. Now for the centerpiece, like I said, I'm going to end up using, oh, this is the inside. Oh, I got to find a centerpiece, don't I? I'll be right back. All right, I think this will be a fun centerpiece, right? Little pink, little lines. I could do it this way, kind of like sideways book spines. I think that's how I did this one. Yeah, I did them going sideways, just a little bit more interest on there. So okay, so what I'm going to do is, since I'm going to create the spine afterwards, I'm going to end up pushing this out a little bit, so I've got a little bit of wraparound space for it. So I'll end up gluing it down like that, and then, like I said, we'll cut a couple pieces that will go in the center when we get to that. So let's start gluing. Hopefully this has now gotten itself a little bit more flowing, and there we go. Now there's lots of different glues you can use. You can use a stick glue. You could probably use, what do you call it, our glitter glue. The only thing with that is it doesn't like to shift. The glitter glue, like once it's down, it's down. So I found that the Fabri-Tac was a nice version of it. It doesn't get too wrinkly, which is also another good thing for putting paper. But okay, so we're going to say this is the front, and we're going to lay this down. All right, I think I'm going to shift it up a little bit more than halfway. Have a smaller wraparound because I want to have those flowers, like I said, on the front. And we will just spread that out a little bit. Yeah. All right, I'm going to trim this down to about that size. I don't need to fold over all that. And we're going to end up like any other kind of fold over. We're just going to end up trimming the corners, leaving just a little bit hanging there. Now, if it ends up showing anything, we can always ink the edge and or add corners to this. So I'm going to just fold this up just to give it a little bit of a memory of where it needs to go. And I think I'll just glue the front on. We'll glue that later. Okay, let's glue, or the back I should say, the covers back. Yeah, this is gonna be pretty. This is gonna be really pretty. my prototype is after this is all glued and dried, I went through and like touched the corners, kind of lifted it up a little to see if anything was lifting, and then that's where I ended up using the art glitter glue just to get it down really good. Okay, let's just get that cut off and the corners. Now on the prototype one, I ended up putting it even on this end, the front. I did not leave room to wrap around, and I ended up having to trim because the cupcake box ended up sticking out, so that's why I decided on this one to go through and, I don't know what you want to call it, give it a fold over. Oh, there you go. I'm like looking for my bone folder just to give it a little extra. You're in the right spot, kind of. Oops. Okay, I'm probably going to use our glitter on these little corners because they're not like you got to make them shift or anything. All right, now that that is done and looking beautiful, I'm going to cut the strips for the, what do you want to call it? Binding? Spine, that's the word, the spine. Now, I'm going to want it just a few inches, not even really, just a little bit bigger than that. So this measures approximately 2 1/4. So if I make it like 2 1/2, let's see, 2 1/2 ends up being right there. No, I think I make it 3. I'm going to be generous and make it 3. Yeah, we'll make it 3. I'm going to cut 2 strips of 3 inches. One is going to be the inside piece, and one is going to be the outside piece. All right. 3. I think on my prototype, I think I did 4 inches for it. And totally not necessary. I mean, you can do any size you want, but I found it unnecessary. Okay. Now I'm going to hold off on those because I need to attach the inside cover first so that I cover that up also. Now we're going to use, again, we're going to use this, and I'm going to again cut this in half to be 6 inches because that's what the cover is. But in this case, I'm going to shift it in a little bit. So I'm going to take a little bit more off. Not a lot more. Instead of just kiss cutting it, I have like, what, 1/4 inch? Cut it off. All right, so that is what it's going to do is it's going to end up coming on the inside of that, And I probably should cut a little bit more because I want it in there. All right, so I lied. Probably should have cut more like 1/2 inch off. So we're gonna go through and cut another little bit off. There we go. Yeah, that's more like what I want. So it's gonna be on the inside. Yeah, and then when I do these strips, it will cover it beautifully. Okay, I love it. All right, now for the height wise though, this is a 10-inch board, so I think I'm gonna try to cut, cut about this much off. All right, and this much is a little bit more than 2 inches. So it is, if this was 12, it would be like 9 3/4. All right. I didn't want to cut too little because I have kind of a tiny space there. All right, you should pay attention to which direction you're cutting because my words are going up and down. That's okay, they're basically hidden, but yeah, I like that. Okay, get this out of the way and we will glue the inside cover pages in. Well, the insides are in. Inside covers are in. I decided to add art glitter after I glued, you probably noticed I glued the inside with the Fabri-Tac, but then I decided to add the art glitter to the outside of this sheet of paper so that it really made a nice strong bond right along the edges there. Like I said, I could always go back when it's all dried and see if anything's lifting up and throwing a little art glitter glue in there, but I thought it would be a little preemptive strike, as they say, to have it stick well, and I think it worked really well. A little bit of Fabri-Tac is coming out, but that's easily rolled away, and I just was very careful of how I laid it because it wasn't going to have as much time to shift, so I made sure that I tried to do my best to evenly distribute the borders. It is the inside, so it's a little bit more forgiving, and if I had to, I could always throw some ribbon on the edge, but I think I did pretty good. Yeah, I think I did pretty darn good. Okay, so we are going to start putting this on, and I'm going to put it on this side first because I'm going to want to roll it on the inside to attach. So we're just going to add. All right, so we just need to I'm gonna put this right in here so I can see. All right, there we go. I'm gonna put it there. And now I've got an eyeball of where it needs to go. Okay, so I did put the art glitter glue on this side, so when it folded over, it has a little bit more sticky. I am not going to fold this for a while because I want it to completely dry to make sure it doesn't buckle, or the least amount of buckling possible. And we're going to cover the inside. Now we're going to do just like we did with this. We're going to make it just a bit shyer, so I'm going to cut it, oh, it looks like right above that black mark, so nice and easy. I like easy, right? Easy squeezy lemon peasy. And you are a little bit thicker, wider, but I don't think I'm not too mad about it. I could live with it. If I was a perfectionist, I'd probably try to trim this down to match, but I'm not going to. Okay, so I'm going to throw the glue on this just because I'm not sure how far up and down it's going to go, and then this way I know it is on the paper. Okay, that is beautiful. I love it. I did that upside down. Oy vey. Okay. How many of you are screaming at you? Lisa, you're doing it upside down. Ooh, don't fold it yet, it's still wet. That's okay. This will be the front. This is just flowers coming over the back. I can live with it. Like I said, it's a utilitarian journal that is going to be used to store things in and out. So it's probably going to get beat up a little bit, even though I absolutely love it. But I do have more of these papers, so I can do another one, hopefully reverse it. Yeah, I love it. It's very nice. So, all right, so I'm going to let this dry. And next time I come back, I'm going to have these all folded, and we're going to attach the eyelets and string the elastic and put in the first few signatures that I created with the 365 calendar. All right, so the cover is completely dried and beautiful. I have folded it, making sure the creases are pretty good in there, so it is ready to go. Now I'm going to add eyelets to these to put the elastic in there to make these, like I said, removable before. I did do my first one that I had did as the mock-up, and I added eyelets to it and added some elastic to it. I am not sure. I'm going to show you how I strung those. Strung those. I'm not sure if it's the correct way, the right way. There's probably a million different ways to do that out there. But this is how I did it, and I'm going to show you how I did it when I do this one. So there is my mock-up prototype. So I'll use that for something else. And for this one, now I'm going to use my tear rulers that I had created to make holes in journals. Since I made this much bigger than the normal 9-inch. It ended up being, I think, 10.5 was it? Oh, 10 inches. It ended up being 10 inches. And I'm not doing the holes throughout. I'm just doing 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom. So I decided to do it this way, where I hooked the 2 together, and I'm just gonna slide it on, and I'm going to actually use the second row of holes because I want the holes near the top, like here. I want the holes near the top to put the eyelets in. So I'm just going to grab this to push on. All right, that looks pretty good. Yeah, I don't want it too far up, but not too far down either. So I'm just going to do 3 holes for this. I'm going to poke the hole so I can use my craftideas to punch the hole. Now, I definitely could use a ruler. I could just eyeball it and put 3 holes there. But I wanted these to be the same spot apart. From top to bottom. So there we go. Beautiful. Okay. All right, get that out of the way and craftideas. All right, I'm going to use bigger eyelets. There we go. So I'm going to use the bigger hole, and I'm going to do my best to look for my little pokey part and center that. Okay, 3 holes for the top, and there are 3 holes for the bottom. Okay, get rid of that. Oh, keep this out. I gotta set the eyelets. Silly Lisa. Okay, not too bad. This one's a little bit crooked, but hard to eyeball the center of the dot. But in the end, I think it'll be okay. All right, so I'm going to put the eyelets so that the prettier side is on the outside and the squishy part is on the inside. All right, squish time. Okay, beautiful. Let's put the next 3 in there, and then we are going to string the elastic through here. And I'm going to start adding the few signatures that I have ready to go that are pre-made. And make my signature storer. Come on. Okay. There we go. Okay. All right, 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom. Beautiful. Okay, so for the, get out of the way. I don't need this anymore. There's my bone folder I was looking for earlier. It was underneath my paper. Okay, so for what I did for this was I ended up doing 4.5 times the length, and because there was 3, so I ended up cutting a little bit off, but I want to make sure that it was long enough to tie at the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and about a half. Okay. Now again, this was just me figuring out how to get it to work. So I only had one string on the outside because I didn't want a whole bunch. I was trying to get no strings on the outside, but I could not do that. Maybe if I tried a little bit longer, I could have figured it out, but I didn't. Okay, so we are going to start by putting the first string up through the center hole and hold it, you know, so that there's enough space to do that. Okay, so then we're going to take the other side and we're going to come up the third hole, outside hole, last hole. Yeah, last hole. I'm going to come up the third hole. And we're going to go down the third hole. Okay. And then we're going to come and we're going to go through the first hole so that it is just going across there. Okay. And then we're going to go back down the outside. So we've got the inside and outside done. All right. So now we're going to go up through the center hole and down through the other center hole. So now we got the 3 insides, but they're not meeting. So this is where I made the one go to this side. Now I did make the string go on this side, so this didn't get pinched. If I went on this side, I felt like it would get pinched and warped. So I did make sure that the elastic is on that side. Okay, now I'm gonna pull it a little bit. Thank goodness it stretches. And I'm gonna go through the bottom hole in the middle. Okay. All right. Now this is where we have some fun. Now, we're gonna try to get these strings to be even so I can tie them. And we're gonna give them a bit of a pull so that they are, you know, tight, but not too tight that I bend it, but just tight enough so it gives a bit of strength. And I'm going to tie this, knot it off. Now we want to make sure that we knot it off, so I'm gonna tie it around to do the knot and put the this string through there so that we're knotting around that and locking it in place, because if we did knot around that, then it would fall through the hole. Does that make sense? Now I really can't tell you how to knot this because I am not really sure how I do. I just keep throwing some knots and try to make sure that that string is stuck in the center of it. So sorry I can't give you any help on that. Just gonna throw some knots. I think there's a way to, see, that one missed it. That one missed it. I think there's a way to do it that people make those friendship bracelets. I have never made one, so I'm sure there's some sort of knot that does that, and I think I'm like close to that kind of knot when I'm doing it, but it's not. It's not doing it. I did it again. First two I got to go in there, and this one I just can't seem to get it to go. My brain's not working, I guess. There we go. Just a little fiddly, and now I got it. Okay. So it's not a pretty knot, but it is secure, and I'm just gonna cut it off to get rid of it. So this is why I can set 4.5. So it really is about 4 lengths, but I wanted to make sure I had enough to tie it. Okay, so we've got 1 string on the outside and the 3 strings on the inside. All right, so the reason I did this is, and I explained earlier, is I want to put the signatures in here, but then be able to use them so they're not permanent, but they're like a housing for it. So I've got all the pages that I made in the recent video where I did the stencil for the 365 calendar. So I'm just going to throw those in here. Just throw them in the back just because. And I got a couple more that I did recently that are sitting in my to-do box. So I had these. Oops, where's the other one? I had these 2 from a previous video where I took the coffee paper, put the stickers on the outside. So I'm going to put those in there. And then I have this one laying around. It's just a top pocket. I think this was a Roxy's challenge at some point. And I used one of these for one of the spring journals. So we got that. And then I got this one. I think I used these for the spring journals too, where I've got the ribbon across there or the lace and it tucks in. This one's just not finished, but I can use that one too, so I'll put that in here. So like I said, so if I'm looking for some signatures to add, I can go through this book and just go, oh, a green bird, I could love that. So I do have a middle string here, so I've got some pre-cut. These are not decorated in any way, but just to fill this to make it feel a little fuller. These were pages that I was using for, that I cut out to do a spring journal. So I'm just gonna throw them in there so I have them available. They're cut and ready to go. They are double-sided. Prints, but I'll be able to pull those out. And then I also folded up a bunch of upside down, just some random papers that I could use. They're pre-cut, ready to go. Papers, I pretend that they're decorated. And if they were decorated, then I would have them, put this in the middle here, in there also. So we're gonna pretend those are all decorated. Okay, all right, so those are all my decorated signatures that I have. And so when I'm looking to make a journal, I can just start going through here and go, all right, which one can I use? And find one that's decorated with something. I'm like, okay, none of those. I don't want any of those. Oh, I think I would like this one for my signature page. All I have to do is pull it out and use it. If I don't want, if I find something new, I could just add it in there. And there we go. Go through and I'm like, oh, you know what? I think I really like this one. So let's pull it out and we'll use it for our signature. We'll see how it goes. Don't want it, we can go ahead and put it back in there. I can start sorting these by, type later if I feel like it, or yeah, do it by type or by style, or like I said, these are all one type that I did, so I put them together. If I get some more, I'll put them together. Yeah, I think that'll work, and I'll be able to, it's pretty, be able to sit there on a shelf. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna, how fat it'll get if I want to put some sort of closure on there, but for now, I'm just gonna leave it be. Yeah, I think that's cool. I'm gonna start doing, my next journal I'm gonna start doing is more of an idea book, and I'm gonna use, I've been ripping some pages out. I've been thinking about using one of these, this book to do an edge idea book. I've seen a couple, Gail Gusnelli did it, and I think Natasha Treasure Books has a idea book of edging. So I was thinking about doing that, where I throw edging on here as an ideas, but then I was thinking like if I do an idea book of, an idea page of, say, washi tape, that'll be in the idea book, but then I'll go ahead and create a couple actual signature pages with washi tape on there and throw them in here as a stock up of things. So I'll create the idea and then do the stock up. So that is my next thought. We'll see how that goes, because I got a whole list of ideas to make edge trims, edge decoration. So I thought that would be kind of fun to do. All right. Well, I think we're going to call this video done. I think this project has been completed. I enjoyed it and love it. So hopefully you did too. And if you've not subscribed to my channel but like to do so, see some future videos, see this upcoming journal edge book that I'm going to create, idea book, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you like the idea or a video, I would not be upset about seeing a thumbs up. That's going to be it for me today. I truly appreciate each and every one of you stopping by and spending some time with me. And as usual, I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye now.